Bain O'Leary brings us our business segment, your retirement experts. Joining us now, of course, Dale Kurschner. Dale, how are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm kind of coming to terms with this whole what happened with the Vikings yesterday, so I'm in that mode, and I'm trying to transition into the week, to more important things,
What a game. That was a great game, though.
It was a great, man. Something tells me they probably had pretty good ratings in that one, huh?
Yep. It's just going and going.
We were just talking to Pete Najarian about this, the uncertainty of the market when you have obviously a Supreme Court nominee that's now, at least for now, in a state of confusion perhaps. But he said, as you do, that the bigger concern farmers about the tariffs and can they get some kind of resolution on this?
Yeah, we kind of have a triple whammy hitting farmers right now with the tariff situation with China and President Trump saying, okay, we may do another $200 billion on the Chinese. This was, of course, when we were supposed to start talking with them, and now we're hearing the Chinese are probably going to say, forget the talks. But there's that, and then there's also the Canadian situation, and the Trump administration had set a deadline to come up with a new version of kind of a NAFTA-like agreement with Canada by the end of this month. We're hearing those talks have kind of stalled, and that affects a lot of our farmers here in terms of exports. And then the other things they're facing, the Farm Bill. We haven't really been talking a lot about the fact that the Farm Bill expires at the end of this month. And legislators are working on that, but still, and it's kind of iffy as to whether that's going to be done. And then lastly, the labor shortage. And we hear about labor shortage issues here in the urban areas, but in the farm communities, it's getting harder and harder to find temporary workers as well as full-time.
Now, to me, that's kind of a half empty, half full. Isn't that the good news that there's a labor shortage? Doesn't that tell you that at least we're doing well as an economy?
Yeah, and it has been for a while. The issue has been Minnesota's population growth the last decade has been dependent on immigrants. And as we kind of clamp down on the ability for immigrants to come into our country as easily as they have in the past, that's affecting farmers as well as other businesses here, because without immigrants, our population in Minnesota would have dropped just about every year for the last 10 years. So it's been an issue. We've both been blessed by having low unemployment, but we've also been also blessed by having a lot of immigrants come in and kind of fill the supply chain for us.
Can I tell you my Paul Grangard story?
Do so.
Okay, so he ran Allen Edmond, famous shoe company, yeah. Right? And he's out of here in Edina, and I did not know him. And one day I'm in downtown Minneapolis, and I am standing at a urinal next to a man that I don't know, and he says, "Hey, you like your shoes?" And I said to him, "Yeah." I said, "They're Allen Edmond." I said, "Ever since I started wearing them, it's all that I wear." And he goes, "Well, I'm glad to hear that because I'm the CEO of Allen Edmond Shoes." And we proceeded as we washed our hands. We were polite and well-mannered people to walk. I said, "Well, then," I said, "I should be doing spots for you on WCCO radio promoting them." And before I knew it, I had to deal with Allen Edmond Shoes, the most unique deal I ever got or negotiated. And I still wear them to this day. I buy Allen Edmond shoes all the time because Paul Grangard and I stood side by side at a urinal. And now he's moving on.
People totally underestimate the power of conversations in men's rooms.
Don't they? Yeah. Well, only we know about these things, right?
Right. It's kind of a secret.
It's our secret, but, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I got to know him back when he was at Piper Jaffray. And then he kind of jumped over to running this company that I'd known when I worked in Wisconsin. And Allen Edmonds had kind of this traditional, kind of an old vibe to it. And Paul really re-energized that company and made them popular and really trendy and great shoes and turned it around, sold it for $255 million. And now he's back here full-time in the Twin Cities. And as you're hearing, as well as other listeners probably are too, Circle Rock is this brand that he's come out with now. And it's a men's clothing line that's supposed to be kind of, as they say, aspirational. And
what does that mean?
Affordable but highly tailored. I guess it's like if you want to feel like you're dressing up, more stylish, just kind of more energetic with your look, that's what this is meant to be. But it's meant to be affordable too. And he's going after, first and foremost, all the guys who play on the Minnesota United soccer team because of his friendship with Bill McGuire. And that's a great way to launch a brand by having your players, every time they go somewhere to play, obviously before they're on the field.
So this is not the uniforms. This is just what they would wear off the field.
Right. Yeah.
And so he just wants to see men that are well conditioned and look good wearing his clothes, and that's a start.
Right. And I think it's, when you think about the combination of being physically fit and also looking nice, they tend to go hand in hand.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how Circle Rock then markets from there. They're all online right now with what they're doing, but it's kind of fun. Paul did such a great job with the retail component, really relearning and re-implementing how a retail company like Allen Edmonds could actually not only become more relevant, but ship faster and get it to you every way you want it. And that's part of the secret to his success there, was he really figured out the distribution strategy.
Will he have some stores, you think?
I don't know.
Brick and mortar?
With Allen Edmonds, too, it was kind of one of those things where you realize more and more.
One at the Galleria and one downtown, yeah.
Right. You need them as showcases. Allen Edmonds had that whole approach, too, to how they actually would work with you when you came in to do your shoes. And that was a little unique. Yeah. So if there's a unique approach and some value there, they'll probably do it. But I think at first it makes a lot of sense to not go that cost, not do that cost until you have to.
SunShare's Minnesota projects receive $11 million in financing. That's a nice oomph.
It is. People in Zumbro Falls and St. Michael have been watching these solar gardens being built. And, it's nice that they've been doing this. These guys behind it, called SunShare, received $11 million in construction financing. And they say that's just another sign that this is a really, it's a bona fide business idea that a bank will actually give you $11 million to cover it. And in the past, this was kind of thought of as a government subsidized thing that's never really going to pay off from a business standpoint. So it's not only a nice little chunk of change, but it's proof that this is something that can be financially viable without public subsidies.
Natural gas may be stored underground in North Dakota. North Dakota getting back in the game again with some stuff, huh?
Yeah, it seemed like an explosive issue when I first heard about it, but they're looking at possibly sinking 7,000 feet underground the natural gas that's being produced in North Dakota for temporary storage purposes. What they're having to do right now is they have to burn a lot of it, because they're just producing so much. And I didn't know, maybe you had heard, but North Dakota set new records again in July, new oil production.
Did they again? Are they coming back?
Yeah, 1.3 million barrels a day of oil.
So is Williston in that area active again like it was, or where are we at?
Yeah, it is. It's more so. Record levels of natural gas, too, now being produced. And I don't think we heard about it as much this time around because they just kind of shifted it back into full gear. But the first time it was such a change up there, and it was so fast that we heard about it more. But, yeah, things are starting to boom up there again, and they're trying to now figure out what do we do with it all. And so that's where they're thinking about sinking some of this natural gas underground until they have the time to build more processing facilities and figure out how to ship it.
They got money up there, man. Those universities, state universities, are well financed up there for kids that grow up in North Dakota. They got opportunities that nobody can complain and say it's not affordable because that's the way that they're able to roll right now. And then with that Red River Valley and all that they produce up there. What about mining in the boundary waters? What would that economic impact be, and would we feel it much here in the Twin Cities?
I think with both mining there and also with what's going on in North Dakota, we feel those things here in the Twin Cities. We have construction companies, banking companies, a lot of different firms that are doing things up there, and our manufacturers are also doing some things all the way from southern Minnesota through Duluth, all the way up, helping what's going on over in North Dakota. Iron Range, same kinds of things. I think the biggest benefactors will be the merchants and the property owners in towns like Ely, Minnesota, where they're estimating bringing on the copper mine could add roughly, I think it's 1,100 to 1,200 jobs in Ely. So, that would be where you'd see most of the impact. And up there, they could use it because, as you know, after summer tourism season, there isn't a lot going on from an economic standpoint.
No, but I was up there speaking last year to the Chamber of Commerce at their annual banquet, and I got to tell you, they got a hell of a fight going on up there. It's more split than I thought it would be.
It is. There's a huge fight, and you'll see the signs saying we support mining, and then you see the other folks saying, it'll kill our business if that water gets polluted. So I hope that they can work something out to really ensure that that watershed does not get polluted, because I don't know if a lot of listeners realize, but the waters all flow north from that part of our state. And so typically you would think, well, it's just going to go down the Mississippi. It's going to go south. So why are they worried? But there, if it leaks, it will not only go north, but it spreads then into everything in that water district, and it could pollute pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's a great downtown area, and as you mentioned, in the summertime, it's just awesome. But then in the winter, unless you want to go snowshoeing or whatnot, it's a little bit you got to really want to do something to get up there or see some wolves or something like that. Hey, Dale, thank you so much. I always enjoy being with you.
Same here, Mike. Have a good week.
You bet. Dale Kurschner, brought to you by Bain & O'Leary, your retirement experts. The Lindus construction time is 10:48. Time to improve the look of your home with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters.